Cole Palmer against Brighton scored 4 goals in one half. He propelled himself into the conversations of being the best player in the Premier League. And I don't know whether you have ever had this feeling, maybe like an underground music artist that you like. You know, they're making very good music. They have been for a while. And then they have maybe one song. It can go viral on TikTok, or it can be in the charts or whatever, I don't know. They just have that one album, one single that propels them to a very high level, that you start getting loads more streams, and they've kind of made it, right? I think we've all kind of experienced maybe one music artist like that. For me, this was kind of like Cole Palmer, because I've been saying for a year, this guy is a generational talent. And this video is not meant to be me kissing my own ass. It really isn't. There's nothing more annoying than a guy who just says, I told you so, right? This is more, it's more confusion about how long it took. Well, until I scripted this video, kind of, wrote a lot of bullet points, and I realised that I don't think everyone was watching Cole Palmer last year. I watched Cole Palmer very early on last season, and the games that I watched, he was fantastic. He was running the show. I couldn't quite believe what I was watching. Therefore, I watched more Chelsea games as I found Cole Palmer very entertaining and my favourite player to watch in the Premier League. I think everyone else, because Chelsea was so bad, kind of dismissed them, and they weren't watching as many Chelsea games as obviously a Chelsea fan would watch. And, you know, someone like myself who just happened to watch Cole Palmer early on. And every game, this guy is running the show. He's scoring goals. And I feel like everyone was kind of surprised. Oh, Cole Palmer's on 15 goals. Oh, Cole Palmer's on 20 goals. Oh, Cole Palmer finished with 22 goals. Whereas when someone like me who was watching him literally every week because I wanted to, because he was my favourite player last year, like, you see these numbers adding up. It's just not a shock really to you anymore. You kind of adjust yourself to the fact that this is one of the best Premier League players that I've seen for a while. And you had it, you know, you had people saying Pen Palmer, he's scoring penalties, his performance is not that good, you know, he's just a pen merchant. That was never true. There was actually a part of the season where he was only kind of scoring penalties. That didn't last, you know, that lasted a few weeks. But even the performances in those games, he was just so far ahead of anyone else in that Chelsea team, and even on the opposite team's team, that it was just annoying because this guy was playing so well and he was known as a pen merchant. I even take it back to the semi-final of the FA Cup. I thought Cole Palmer was the best player on the pitch on that day. And we're talking about, you know, the current Premier League champions. You know, Phil Foden, best player in the Premier League. Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland. Cole Palmer was the best player on the pitch that day. They just managed to lose. So, do I think he's one of the best players in the Premier League? Of course, I really do. I'm not going to label him world class yet. I think to get that title, you have to do it for a consistent kind of period of time, not just 1 year, you know, maybe 3 years. But I do think in terms of talent and the way he's performing and how I think he will do in the future, he's up there with De Bruyne, Salah, Haaland at the moment, of course. The Euros, like, I never really rated Southgate, but him not playing Palmer was when I kind of knew this guy doesn't know too much about football. Because, you know, I said I had a podcast, me and Bradley, you can see them on the channel, probably spoke about it. I did say on one of those podcasts, by not playing Cole Palmer, you're not playing one of the best players on the planet in this England team, right? If you're not playing him for England, you're not playing one of the best players on the planet. And it's very easy to forget. This guy scored in the Euros final. And he made an impact in every single game when he came on. But he scored in a Euros final. It doesn't really get any bigger than that. The equaliser as well. And he didn't start, he came off the bench. This guy is a true special footballer. And that game on Saturday was the game for Cole Palmer. I'm sure you've seen the graphics now of people saying, oh, look how many goals he scored since the start of last September. And what I find funny about that is Kane is first, Palmer is currently second, Haaland's third. But even before that game Saturday, Palmer was still second. It's not like he came from sixth most goal contributions. No, he was already second. He just added another 4 goals to his tally. There will now be people dragging him down. There'll be so much pressure on Cole Palmer after that game, which is good. You know, that's what you want as a footballer. Pressure is a privilege. I can't remember who said that, but they say pressure is a privilege. There's things expected of you, and that's a good thing. That means you're highly rated. So, and I think Cole Palmer has that kind of demeanour, the attitude, the confidence to not be fazed by it at all, because he just goes on there and plays football, and he just happens to be very, very, very good at it. But back to the England thing a second. I think not playing Cole Palmer, I'm just going to reiterate what I said a year ago. I think not playing Cole Palmer is just the same as Belgium not playing De Bruyne, or England not playing Kane, or France not playing Mbappe. I think it's just the same thing. For me though, but by the way, a lot of people, this game was the game. For me, it was probably Everton. I mean, I don't know, I said Cole Palmer was very special very early on, but the Everton one is probably the one for me, where he propelled himself to best player in the Premier League alongside De Bruyne and Haaland. And look, I'm sorry, Phil Foden's good, but there's just no way he was better than Palmer last year. There was just absolutely no way. Cole Palmer, after that Brighton game, has propelled himself into the elite conversations in football right now.